What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ticket to Anywhere podcast. I am Trizzy. I'm chilling here with my co-hustler Leah. What's up, Leah? How you doing?
Hey everyone.
We are two voices, two views, two ways to adventure anywhere.
The last episode we released was with Danielle Desir, who is this financially savvy traveler who teaches people that you could save, work, travel, and buy a house all at the same time. Like she literally does it all. She has a full-time job and a blog and a podcast and speaking engagements. Great learning from her, Danielle Desir of the Thought Card. So we came back on and we're like, why don't we share how we budget, how we save, how we travel hack, because it's so different for everyone.
Leah brought the budgeting, Leah brought the savings, like pre-trip, during trip, and then I threw in a little bit of my spice of just travel hacking, getting more for your bucks, basically. I just want to feel like I've, won like a trophy, which is cashbacks or cashback in mileage. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely. And so we hope that you will take away from this episode, a little tip or trick that you have never considered before, or a new card or program or site that you've never heard of. Or if you want to exchange your favorites, drop us a DM, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, leave us a comment on YouTube. We want to hear how you save, how you budget before, during, goals that you give yourself, any cool travel hacks. Trizzy came with some really good ones. There's a lot of good resources out there, but we do it ourselves. So we had to come drop some knowledge.
Cheers, Leah. Cheers.
Cheers. As always, our coffee and our tea fuels our travels, right? So I always like to share what we're drinking. So today I just have a little hot latte. I mocha pot brewed some Cafe Bravo local roaster out here in Los Angeles, some Cafe Bravo Cafe Rica with some macadamia vanilla milk. I love some macadamia milk. It's my favorite. And a little bit of silk oatmeal creamer.
Girl, you so fancy. You make your own coffee. I'm over here just drinking peach oolong loose leaf tea. I got it from Percolate. I mentioned Percolate before. They are in Santa Monica, and this was the other bag that I got. Peach oolong tea. It's very refreshing. So it's good for a hot day, and you put some ice in it, so it's a good cold tea if you need to. But I needed it for my throat, so it's a little warm right now. Leah, can you show us your mug?
Yes, it's my friends in Australia. How cute is that?
Shout out to the homies in Australia.
The homies, the flaggies, because we're all from different countries, so we call ourselves the flaggies.
The flaggies.
They made it, they made it for me as my going away gift.
If you find any value in our episode today or any previous episodes, rate us, review us on Apple Podcasts. We're there. Help us out. Your feedback means the world to us, and it helps other people who may be interested in a travel podcast find us easier.
And please, share this episode with a friend if you find it useful. That's like one of the highest compliments you can pay us. But like we said, you can also leave us a review, a comment, a question on our Facebook page, YouTube channel. You can also now support our work with monetary donations by buying us a coffee. And we link that in the show notes as well. It's buymeacoffee.com/ticket to anywhere. So enjoy this money episode.
Hey there, it's Trizzy and Leah, your hosts for the Ticket to Anywhere podcast.
We created this travel podcast for you, who's just as obsessed with exploring the globe as we are.
We each travel a different way and even have different work schedules, but every episode we aim to widen your worldview, inspire you to consider a destination near or far, or learn from others.
With us, you can adventure from anywhere. Keep in touch with us on social media at Ticket to Anywhere Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Never miss an episode by subscribing to Ticket to Anywhere Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Pocket Casts. And hit subscribe to follow our visual podcast on YouTube.
Leah, I'm very excited for this episode, and you know why? This is more about money, saving money, getting more rewards back, getting incentives back, because that's how I do. If I purchase
Mm-hmm.
something for my trip, I want a little something back. And I'm going to show you guys how that works.
Absolutely. And then I came with more of the saving money before a trip, before, as you know, if you don't know, I am a long-term backpacker. So I travel for long periods of time and I try to spend as little money as possible. So what I'll be talking about is, like saving and budgeting while you're on the road, saving before you go, where to start where you like are literally at $0 in savings. So I'll get into that. I'm getting real here. Like I've been at rock bottom and I've been at negative before. I've been at zero in my account. I've been at zero and then owe people money. So from that, like in my 20s, I had no sense of saving. I got told save for a rainy day. Okay, for what? For how much? I was in the mindset this is so horrible. And I'm being very like vulnerable here, but I thought when I had money, I had to spend it because I could. Right? Because I could. So I had no concept of saving. And of course, like I'm a completely different person from who I was 6 years ago. But in those 6 years, I've had highs and lows. That's why I'm very, very strict on my budget. But to the point where like, yeah, I have to give, well, not recently, but like, not since pandemic, I feel like a lot of us, who are lucky enough to still have jobs and income, right, have been saving quite a bit because we spend our money on travel. We haven't been traveling too much. But I feel that, I had to sacrifice a lot beforehand when I needed to increase my savings and like budget a lot for certain things, whether it's, saving up for a house or a trip. Like I'm not making $1 zillion a month. I wish. But I have to be smart. I have to be realistic. And I've seen myself at rock bottom. So I know exactly like how much and what I need to get back to a stable level.
You're inspiring me. You're inspiring a lot of people. You might not
but
know
you're
it.
frugal too.
I am. Yeah, I have my ways.
You're good. Yeah.
But I'm not as structured. I used to be very structured, but it just went whatever.
I mean, everything just went kind of during the pandemic. So
yeah, for sure.
But back then I was like, okay, first things first. I needed to go with a goal in mind. So I'll be very transparent. I went to South America with about $8,000, right? In cash. I had a line of credit that was probably like $5,000. So I had that available to me. Incoming though, so that's what I had. Incoming throughout 2016 though, I had an inheritance, which added up to $6,000. Sporadic income because I worked while I was in South America. My tax return, right, which was about $1,200, and a legal settlement with a big media company that paid us all out. So I got about $1,000 out of that. So I had income coming in, but like the only money I pay you, this is what finance tells you. Like you have to focus on the money you have. You can't be like, oh, I'm getting $1,000 in a month. Like you can't look at that future money. It's like, what am I working with right now? I'm working with $8,000 and $5,000 in credit, right? So to get to that point though, 2015 was a big year of change for me. So the biggest tips that I found helpful were picking up side gigs, number one, and diversifying your skills. So the biggest thing I did in 2015 was I got certified to teach English as a foreign language. So I got a TEFL certification. Now, a lot of times in order to make money, you have to spend money, right? So I spent about $900 on this certification through International TEFL Academy, right? For a certification that never expires. And then that paired with my bachelor's degree in any subject, I majored in marketing, but it could be in any subject, will get you a job easily in South America, very easily, or Central America. But professional certificates like that, you can write off in your taxes. But when I say like start diversifying your skills, like English, you can teach anywhere. So picking up side gigs, like look at what you can do. Do you love dogs? Are you great at walking them? Maybe try the Rover app or like walk some dogs. Or are you great at organization? Could you become like a hustler? Could you become a closet? Wait, please leave that in.
I got you.
Could you become a closet organizer if you're great at organization, right? And sites like Upwork and Fiverr did not exist or I didn't know how to use them 6 years ago. So the fact that in 2021, we can help people say, hey, get a side gig, use the gig economy, drive for Uber Eats. Like none of this existed when I was doing this. So I was like on care.com, looking for like, who could I babysit, even though I'm not a babysitter. But I was so desperate for like, what other skills do I have? Like I can move, I can count, blah, 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 blah. So this is a double whammy when I say pick up side gigs, one, to make cash, two, to diversify your skill sets. But, and I'll get into this later, you can use them while you're on the road as well to make money. That's my biggest tip, or number one tip. So number two, phase things out of your life. And it's not so different nowadays, but back in the day, man, like I said, no concept of saving. Was really bad with money. Like I had money, so I always felt I had to spend it. I always felt I didn't know the value of a dollar. I loved my material things, right? I know you I know you relate because like I used to buy shoes, right?
Yep.
So
I understand there was no Marie Kondo for us to watch on Netflix.
I think it all comes together. Like I never was taught to save how much and for what. So, phasing things out of your life. There were three big things that I noticed once I started getting my head together. I was spending a lot of money on shopping, nails, getting my nails done every 2-3 weeks, and coffee. I was spending like a crazy amount on coffee, but that was my non-negotiable. I had to have that. So shopping, when I cleaned out my closet, I found bags and bags I had never used. And I'm like, this is actually a problem. Like this bag of unused clothes is worth $300. That's literally a flight from like Brazil to Colombia.
Yeah.
I always recommend donating or see who needs them at first, like in your circle, phasing things out of your life. Nails, man, I don't even like nails. That's the old Leah. Cut that out so quick. I was spending what, $120, $150 a month on nails. You don't need that.
Yeah.
So, and then even so, like, this, I was going out with friends a lot and I decided to cut back on that. Not completely cut it out, but only go out like once a week. Freaking Uber and Lyft didn't exist in 2015 in Vegas. So we were still paying for taxis.
Taxi's expensive too.
Phasing these unnecessary things, taking a good hard look at your budget and what you want to go somewhere with. And I'm speaking more specifically towards longer term travel. Even if it's like a month, it's like, what do you need for a month in this place that you're going to be? How much can you actually live on, right? The next biggest thing, of course, phasing things out of your life turns into meal prepping. And I know people will tell you this all the time, but you can attest, Trizzy, how like efficient meal prepping is, right? Like on time and money.
Yeah, it is. But it takes so long. So you really have to dedicate basically your Sunday or whatever day you want to dedicate meal prepping to. But it does help, You just stick it in the microwave or put it in the stove, whatever you want to do. And then it's fast. It's fast throughout the week. So once you get that full day of cooking, that whole week that you just are putting in the microwave for 2 minutes and then you're ready to eat, that's like nothing,
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. And I used to meal prep on like Sundays and Wednesdays. So I'd cut it in half. So maybe it'd be only like an hour each day. And it's different because like we discussed in the last duet, I'm vegetarian. So I was prepping vegetarian food, right? I didn't have to cook meat. So there could be a time difference in that as well.
Yes.
Whereas because I everyone's different, but I love salads. Like I'm fine with a salad. And PS way to get protein in there, put some quinoa, put some eggs, like put some edamame. It's easy to make a salad really like filling. I know people are like, salad's not food. I'm like, it's food, trust me.
No, it's good. I love salads as well. And the thing with me is like I love texture. So you could even just throw like cashews or almonds to give it that crunch,
And that's a lot of like good fats and protein. That'll make you feel full. That's good. That's what you need, right?
Exactly.
So, but I'm the same, like I like vegetables. So I'll literally lay out like 5 baggies and put like carrots and celery in 5 different bags, reusable bags, of course, stasher bags, of course. And that's it. Those are my snacks. Like, make it easy for yourself to like grab things, right? Like
Mhm.
lay these bars out, or cook a couple hard-boiled eggs at the beginning of the week, right? Like, make it or a lot of times I'll cook like a whole pot of quinoa and like have it for the next 4 days and put some in my salad, or I'll
Yeah.
put stuff over it, like use it as a rice replacement.
Mhm.
So
How do you cook your hard-boiled eggs? Do you usually wait, have you tried it in the air fryer before?
no, because I don't have an air fryer yet.
Oh, girl, for those who does have an air fryer, I love making hard-boiled eggs in the air fryer. It's so easy.
What?
You just set it at 270 temperature. It's
Uh-huh.
270, and you cook it for between 12 and 15 minutes depending on how yolky you want it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why'd I say yolky? That's not even a word.
Like, no, it is.
Like if you want it well
It is.
done, then you put it for like 14, 15 minutes. And then once you take everything out, you put it in a cold bath for about 10 minutes, and then it's easy to crack. You don't have to
Okay.
like have that extra pot on your stove that's just sitting there and then having to wash it again.
Oh my
Just air fryer,
gosh.
set it, forget it, and it's clean.
Oh my gosh, girl. Where'd you get that air fryer? Costco?
Costco.
So when I say like cut back on things, as that was my number 2 tip, phase things out of your life, I meant like phase going out to eat 5 times a week, 7 times a week, right? That is tough. Some people don't have any other option, right? So what
Yeah.
I like to do is, like, I don't like saying cold turkey, cut it out, like go from 5 to 1 time a week. Like, no. If you're eating out 5 times a week, try eating out only every other day, right?
Hmm.
Phase that out, and then start moving to meal prepping. Say like, oh, I'm just going to bring breakfast every day this week or whatnot. Or I'm going to just try to make breakfast at the beginning of the week, not focus on any other meal, because you have to start in increments, right?
Yeah,
You can't just
exactly.
go cold turkey on things. So saving on food is huge. I feel like it's one of the easiest things to be able to free up more of your funds for what you really want to do. You know, a
Hmm.
lot of times we're paying for convenience. No, most times we're paying for convenience when it comes to food, but like, is the food actually good? No. Did it make us
Right.
happy? No. Just made us feel sluggish afterwards. Meanwhile, your air fried egg will make you feel like Superwoman.
Exactly.
And then one of my last tips, these are all pre-tips before like leaving for your trip, right? Like how to save, how to budget. One of my last tips is, I'm not going to dive too deep into this because there are a lot of people out there, you know, the points guy, Nomadic Matt, that do this better than myself, even Trizzy, but use like travel rewards cards, right? Like automate your finances for one, so that you don't have, you know how much you are working with, right? Once your bills are paid. And then for debit card, get the Charles Schwab debit card, because there are no foreign transaction fees and the ATM withdrawal fees are reimbursed. I go to a lot of more developing countries. A lot of the ATMs run out of money quite often. But you know, you still need to withdraw, and they're hugely cash economies. So I want to withdraw money. Charles Schwab has been one of my best bets. But 2 credit cards that I can recommend that are great. I wish I had like an affiliate link for them, but I don't. I've heard many, many travelers use these cards: Capital One Venture Card and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Usually they come, you know, at a 0 fee the first year, or a massive sign up bonus. Like recently, Chase had like an 80,000 point sign up bonus. And then there's a fee after the first year. But look into those 2. Those are 2 of the most popular cards in the market. And then as far as both debit and credit, check out any local credit union in your area. Local credit unions are great because they work with the community, for the community, and they're usually fueling money and services back into the community rather than like these bigger banks. So that's my piece on cards. Those are all the tips before going. Really quick on the road, slow down your spending if you can, and do it from the beginning. Because when I was in South America for a year, I didn't slow down my spending till the last 4 months. And so I was like going ham, going hard, doing everything, not saying no, which was
Hmm.
fine. But, you know, maybe you can like breathe in and breathe out and be like, okay, like, do I really need to go to like every single bar in Buenos Aires tonight? Tonight.
It's that excitement.
I know. And volunteer, house sit if you want. I know the Alternative Travelers just started a house sitting podcast. We're having them on the Nomadic Network soon. Volunteer in hostels. That's how I slowed down my spending immensely. I volunteered my way through Peru for about 3.5 months. I was bartending in these bigger party hostels, Loki and Wild Rover. It was so much fun. Met so many locals, got to use my Spanish, and had an amazing time.
So do you just go up to like the hostel owners and just see if they have like an opening? How do you approach that
Oh yeah.
volunteer
So
opportunity?
anyway, volunteer opportunities. If you there's ways to join Facebook groups that may have some. So if you type in like backpacking Central America or backpacking Southeast Asia and you do a search, you'll be able to find some opportunities, right? Workaway is a great website. It's about a $30 cost for the year for membership fee, but then you get access to all of these hostels and businesses. It's not just hostels, businesses, farms, or like woofing around the world. That's farm, working on farms. They're basically work for accommodation. And, the Nomadic Network has tons of resources on this as well. I've never woofed, worked on farms. I'd love to. I think that'd be so cool. But for the hostels, I actually just emailed them directly. And that was ballsy of me because you'll see a lot of these hostels on Workaway, but the big party ones, a lot of people just rock up and be like, hey, do you have any space on the bar staff? But I pulled out my corporate self, even though I hadn't seen her in like 9 months at that point. But I pulled out my corporate self and I was like, I'm just going to email them and be like, hey, I'm going to be in town in a few days. Like, can we chat for a few minutes? I'd love to see if, I can join the bar staff. So it kind of kept me like, put me top of mind, me reaching out to them rather than just like rocking up with my backpack on and saying like, hey, like 50 other people here, I'd like to get a job,
Right. Yeah.
So I found it a way to kind of like get in front of their eyes first and like let them know I'm coming.
But Leah's coming, baby. Is there a tipping thing? Like, do you get tips that you can keep for yourself?
Oh, no, we didn't accept tips. And if they left us tips, we put them in like a charity jar.
Oh,
yeah. I think the way we said that, like, if you want to, do something great, we donate to charity or just buy us a drink, to be honest. Cause we were allowed to drink as bartenders. Yeah. You can imagine how that went. Could you, that would never happen here. But we were allowed to drink. We just had to be able to work. So we had to gauge how much you know what I mean? Like you can drink, you just still got to be able to work at the same time.
Okay. I was about to say, like, you're pouring water and vodka together.
Second tip is couch surfing. I know some people are a little like, about it, but I've used it a few times, not extensively, but it's a really, really massive community. And just what I can say about it, I'll keep it brief. Really, really read the reviews. Make sure they're verified reviews. Try to talk to the people for a while before, you agree to stay with them, and trust your gut. If you don't have a good feeling, just get out, leave. Mm-hmm. It's all on, it's all exchange. Well, not exchange basis, like people offering up their couches, their rooms, like, you don't owe them anything. And it all depends on what you're looking for. Like, make sure you set boundaries, make sure communication is clear.
How much does that usually, what was the cheapest that you've couch surfed?
Oh, well, couch surfing doesn't cost anything. It's all just like people. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it's all just people saying like, hey, I have a couch. And usually they're like, I want to give back to the travel community because this is how I traveled the world, was by couch surfing on other people's couches.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Wow. That is interesting.
Yeah. So my best and only experience, because I've used couch surfing to meet people for drinks, but I've never used it to stay. I've only used it to stay once. It was in Medellin in Colombia, and I was with my friend Jack. And we stayed in this room that had its own bathroom in this guy's apartment, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. He wasn't even there. He's like, I'm an IT executive. And this was all in Spanish too. So I was really proud of myself that we didn't even speak English to him. But he's like, I'm a marathon runner and an IT executive. I work a lot. I have my own group of friends. He's like, I just have an extra room. I traveled a lot when I was younger. And to be honest, he should have been Airbnb-ing it out because it was like a double bed with a pull-out bed. He wasn't even there the whole time. He's like, oh, just come in and like say hi. We're like, come salsa dancing with us. We'll buy you dinner. He's like, no, that's okay. I got to work early tomorrow. It was like the best couch surfing experience you could ever have, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, try it out. I think there is a small fee to use it now. Back in 2016 there wasn't. There might be a small fee to use it now. And okay, two last things before I have two things of motivation. Like I said, use those remote working skills. You know, if you find that you're running low on funds, or you just want to upkeep your, you know, your brain, your like stimulate your mind, right? Like if you picked up any remote working skills on Fiverr, Upwork, see if you can continue to do those on your travels if you have a computer with you. I brought a computer with me, but I knew I was gone for a year. So most people who are gone for that long would, because they're like, well, I don't know what I'll need to do. If you're gone for a month, you know, I don't even know if it's worth working during that time because you're gone for a month. So this rule probably only applies if you're gone for like 3 months or longer, depending on how much you've saved up. But you know, the world is digital. After 2020, everyone started working remote. The world is digital nowadays. You can work from anywhere. If you feel that you're low on funds, hop on one of these gig economy sites and see if you can pick up some quick jobs. My last one is, you know, if you're traveling for a long time, don't be so bougie. Use that public transportation, eat that street food, stay in hostels, use some couch surfing, like enjoy yourself, of course, like splurge in the little moments, but you have to be realistic about, you cannot buy a $50 dinner every night unless you can. Most people I know cannot. Most people that listen to this podcast cannot. If you're gone for a long period of time, y'all can't be spending 50, 60 bucks on dinner every single night. You know, sometimes you literally just want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right?
Yep. I love mine.
Yep, exactly. And so with these, you know, 4 tips preparing you to go, 4 tips during your travels, geared towards longer travels, right? And budget travelers, which is myself, longer traveler, budget traveler. 2 things, always keep your end goal in mind. Before you're prepping to go, if you want to save $8,000 like I did, you have to like have tunnel vision towards that goal, right? Like eliminate the things that you don't need, because I promise you won't need. I promise you will not need them on the year that you're gone or the 6 months that you're gone. You won't even remember them. Nails? Who does their nails when they're backpacking?
No, they're just gonna get all dirty.
But you know, if you need to write it on your mirror in lipstick or like put it on your screensaver, like, yo, I'm trying to get to save an extra $2,000 by the end of the month. Like really look at your finances and rearrange some things around. Keep that end goal in mind and test yourself for 2 weeks. How little can you spend for 2 weeks, right? Like try it in like little increments. The last thing for me, bring way more money than you think you will need. I actually wish I went down there with way more money than I had. And I was only lucky that I won a settlement. I was only lucky that I had this like family inheritance. I was only lucky that I got as much in my taxes back that I did that year, you know? Like all of that was not money I started with. So, and then if there was a problem with my account, like getting into my accounts, you know, then it's like, oh shoot, sorry, we have this $3,000 check here for you, but you can't use it till you come back.
Do you usually take money out of the ATM with your Charles Schwab debit card once you land, or do you bring some cash with you first and then use that up?
Wonderful question. Because the Schwab card is like so tried and true for me, I always get money when I land. And they say, if you have local currency wherever you're going, don't exchange it at the airport. I agree with them. But you know, if you need cash to get out of the airport, you're going to have to pull from a local ATM, which will have a pretty bad exchange rate. But then only pull out, you know, $50 or $100. Don't pull out $1,000, you know.
Right.
But I never get local currency at the banks at home. It's just too expensive.
Yeah.
All right, girl, teach us how to hack it up. Once you you once you've saved the money using my tips, how are we going to use that money with
You're going to
you?
use your money, but then you're going to get some back. That's the
Mm-hmm.
lovely part. So I've been on Rakuten when it was Ebates. And once they, right? Because they're the same. Rakuten was Ebates, and now Rakuten has like Steph Curry endorsing them. So it's
Ooh.
becoming big.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and basically, Rakuten is for online shopping. There's like in-store shopping too that you could get cash back on, but I'm not too familiar with that side.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I do, especially in the past year because of the pandemic, has been
Mm-hmm.
online shopping. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are online shopping as well. So let's say I'm getting something at Nike. I have to go through Rakuten to get to the Nike site so
Mm-hmm.
that the link, they know that I went through Rakuten to get to
Mm-hmm.
Nike, so I could get 4% cash back. So the credit card that I use, I have Bank of America. They're always giving me cash back regardless. 3%, 2%, 1%, depending on the category.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so on top of the credit card giving me cash back, I'm also getting Rakuten's cash back,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe it's quarterly that they send you what they call a big fat check. And it's funny because sometimes the big
It's
fat check
like,
could just be like $7, but
yes.
it's $7 extra, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's cash. It's not like it's a credit to Nike store or
Yeah.
Bed Bath and Beyond and stuff like that. It's cash back that you could check into your deposit. I mean, you could
Yes.
deposit into your checkings.
Checking. How do you get Rakuten is an extension on your browser, right? How does it work?
Yeah.
How do you get it?
So you could make it as a plugin where you just click on Rakuten and it sends you straight to the site, or you could just type in rakuten.com, create an account, and then
Ah,
that's
okay.
it. As easy as that.
Okay.
They're also an app too. So if
Okay.
you're purchasing on the go, you have to go through the app instead of the
Mm-hmm. Okay.
browser. So
Mm-hmm. One of the
there it
easiest
is.
ways to get cat, I actually do it, and my big fat check was $1.41 last quarter.
Hey.
But I forget, like, I mean, tell people how
Yeah,
easy it is to like forget that you're making money, well, making money while you're purchasing
right.
things, getting some cash back. Right?
Yeah. For me, it's become religious for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the beginning,
Good.
I would always forget, but now I'm just like, all right, I'm not, I know that I'm online shopping. I know I'm going on here and there. So I'm going through Rakuten first. And sometimes like Amazon, they don't have cashback, which sucks
Mhm.
because that's like
Yeah.
majority of what I spend on. But I
Right.
know like um Fanatics, the stores that I use, Fanatics, Nike, Adidas, they all run through there.
Okay.
Target, they get like a 1% cashback.
Hmm.
And once you get into the groove of things, you'll understand like I'm not online shopping without going through Rakuten.
Okay.
And for travelers, here's one of my favorite things about what I do with this. All right, so you have your credit card that's giving you cash back, or another credit card that's giving you mileage, right? So you have that. You have Rakuten. I'm looking at it's so weird that I'm using all these weird fingers, but you have Rakuten that's giving you physical cash back that you could deposit as money. And then if you're using Orbitz and you're a
Hmm.
loyal customer, you get Orbitz credit, which they call Orbucks. So
Okay.
if I'm going on a trip that I'm using a third party, it's going to be Orbitz
Hmm.
because I don't know of any other loyalties that has the Orbitz benefits,
Okay.
which it's like a tier process. So it's like a
Hmm.
silver, platinum, and gold. And once you get higher, I've gotten free TSA pre-check for 5 years.
Wow.
That is usually $80. So what they do is that they redeem you in or bucks. So you pay
Okay.
$80, you send in the receipt first, and then they give you the credit back.
Okay.
If you're getting a hotel that is Orbitz VIP, and they'll have like a
Mhm.
little tab on there, you'll get like daily breakfast for free for two, or you'll get parking for free. That's usually like $30 a day. But you have to ask for it once you get to the hotel. You have to say like, "Hey, I'm an Orbitz Gold member, Platinum member, and I saw that I had these type of benefits."
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
so if you're and also if you're booking a hotel or a flight on top of the credit card cashback, on top of the Rakuten cashback, you get Orbux cashback in credit. So it's like I don't know how much money you're saving, but you're getting.
Hmm.
And for me, I've used my Orbux credit on my Dubai hotel. I've
Nice.
used it on partial payment for a vacation package. So
Nice.
yeah, if you're using it constantly, I would definitely go with Orbitz or whatever
Hmm.
loyalty third party site that you find.
Sure.
But
Hmm.
through experience and through research, I found that Orbitz has been the best and most convenient for me.
Hmm.
Um,
I have two
yeah.
questions for you.
Yo, what up?
So, do you have don't you have a Rakuten referral link? Because if you do, we'll drop it in the show notes.
I do. I do have a
Okay.
Rakuten referral links. Dropping it.
Okay, that will be in the show notes. Second, tell us a little more about Orbitz. I know there's, like hotels.com has
Mm-hmm.
free hotel nights. That's like their loyalty program. I personally like booking.com because you can cancellations really great and I like cross referencing, but tell us more about Orbit's cancellation during these like COVID times, like how they
Yeah.
lightened up.
Right. So they were very on it when COVID struck because we had booked, our Cancun flight by that time.
Hmm.
And they sent an email saying, like, if you want to cancel now, we'll give you everything back, refund, full refund, um, no penalties, no nothing, because we understand.
Hmm.
Um, in general, if you're booking hotels, it really just depends on the type of room that you're getting. If you're getting like a very basic standard room with like, just like a bed and a bathroom, your your free cancellation, you might not get free cancellation. Um if you're getting like a penthouse or something or
Uh-huh.
a step above, then you'll get free cancellation. But it really
Okay.
just depends on
The room
um,
type or something?
the room type and the hotel. Because sometimes you'll
Okay.
get, like a Holiday Inn, but a basic room. But Holiday Inn is a big chain. So
Yeah.
they will offer like free cancellation up until like 2 days prior
Right.
to your check in.
Okay.
But so it's usually like a lot of boutique hotels that may not offer that free cancellation.
Hmm.
So fine print, got to read it as always.
Okay.
But yeah, like during COVID time, they've been on the customer side
That's great.
that I've
So
known of.
good.
Yeah, yeah. And the flexibility, like you have, like how you mentioned, hotels.com gives you a free night. With Orbitz, you
Hmm.
could use the credit for rental cars, for um, vacation packages, for
Hmm.
flights, for hotels. So whatever they sell, you could use that for it. You're not limited to just one category, which is a good
Okay.
thing for me. Yeah.
That's really good.
Um, I know I love Rakuten, which also sometimes um, Rakuten may only give you like 1% cash back for, let's say, Best Buy. Okay. But I also use Alaska mileage shopping, which gives me mileage back. And
Wow.
usually, yeah, so if Best Buy on Alaska mileage shopping gives me like 2 points back per dollar versus 1% cash back, I'll probably go towards Alaska, because
Hmm.
I'll be getting more bang for my buck there. So unfortunately, you can't go Rakuten and try and sneak your way through Alaska mileage shopping or whatever. But and I'm speaking in general because I personally use Alaska mileage shopping, but I know Delta, American, United, Southwest, JetBlue, they all have their own shopping links, and it's very much like Rakuten, but you're getting points. Or sorry, you're getting mileage rather than cashback.
Hmm.
So you have to go through their site and then do the affiliate links and things like that. The cool thing about Alaska is that they have several partners. they're partnered with Emirates, Qatar, Fiji Airways, Eva, I believe,
Wow.
ANA, even American. They're all like partners. So all the mileage that you're earning with Alaska, you
Mm-hmm.
could use that towards those partners.
Oh.
I
Mm-hmm.
use my Alaska mileage points for Maldives platinum overwater villa with pool. I have to say specific because that is one of the most expensive
Yeah.
rooms that they had.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
so I was able to, gather everything and earn, what is it, 6, 7 nights there with my points.
You're
The
kidding.
Alaska,
All of
yeah,
it was
all of it, yeah.
oh
And I still have a lot of points or a lot of mileage remaining.
my gosh. That's amazing.
So if you are online shopping, I'm telling you, this is the way to go.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Make your money work for you, right?
exactly. Another thing that's pretty cool with Alaska mileage shopping, and it also goes with all of the other airlines as well, is that they also have a dining option. It's not for all restaurants. They have a site where you could see the locations of which restaurants will give you um, mileage back.
Mm, that's great.
So let's say, hey, Leah, I haven't seen you in a while. Let's go for dinner. I'm going to go on the Alaska dining site
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to see where in, let's see, Santa Clarita we could eat at. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
go there. I use my credit card and then they just give me the mileage. But there's also fine prints that you have to read there because they'll be like, you have to spend a minimum of $30 or
Right, right, right.
um, or you have to go on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So it's a
Okay.
little tricky, yeah.
Yep.
So, but I mean, it's good though because if you're a person that likes to eat out and not
Mm-hmm.
meal prep, which you should be meal prepping, uh, you get more bang for your buck that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Granted, the restaurant options aren't, really that great on there
Right.
that I've noticed, but it's something. If you're hungry, you're hungry. You'll eat anything, right?
100%. Yeah.
And the thing with that is, let's say you're a loyal member to JetBlue and Alaska, the same credit card on JetBlue dining as you have on Alaska dining. It
Mm-hmm.
has to be one or the other.
Hmm.
They're
Okay.
competing and they're like, you ain't going to
Yeah.
cheat on us like that.
Everyone wants them to use, everyone wants you to use their own card.
Mm-hmm. Another one is that you could earn mileage through rental car companies. So not a third party like Orbitz that I mentioned. For me, um, if I find a really good price with National, that's usually my go-to rental
Okay.
car company. They give you an option for like, do you want your points to be redeemed as an extra as a free day of rental car,
Ooh.
or you could have it sent to Alaska mileage. And so I was like, I'd rather have it on Alaska mileage
Yeah.
because rental car for me, at least the experience that I've had with them, the cost has been very minimal to the point where I'm cool
Yes.
paying
Mm-hmm.
for it. So an extra free day, which could value up to like $30, $50, isn't worth it for me. So I want to
Yes.
like contribute it to, you know, my Maldives hotel. Ta-da!
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So
And the
yeah,
hotel and flights are going to be more expensive than a rental car always, right? So,
always for
mm-hmm.
sure. And it's like the little bit that counts too. Like you don't see it until you really like pull that trigger and get that hotel. You're just like, wow, all that saving that I did
Yep.
is like so worth it. So yeah, so check out all your rental car companies if they give you that option. Even with Emirates and Qatar Airways, if you're purchasing their flights directly, and this is what I learned on my Dubai trip, is that they give you that option too because Alaska is a partner. They're like, do you want to um, save Qatar mileage or do you want to save Emirates mileage or do you want it to go to Alaska? And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really fly Qatar in Emirates. So yes, give the thousands and thousands of mileage to Alaska because
Mhm.
I use them a lot, and so I could just build on them. And knowing that I could, if I decide to fly Emirates again, I could still use my points on
Yep.
Emirates.
Yep.
Yeah, those are all my little tips and tricks that I usually do before
I love
traveling.
it. We had two
Yeah.
completely different things to say, which is awesome.
So it turns out that you're budgeting and saving, and I'm
Yep.
somewhat hacking or showing
I
people.
literally
Yeah.
just came up with the title right now. So we hope you found everything in this, travel finances episode super helpful. And we want to hear from you, all of your tips and tricks. DM us on Instagram. Leave a comment in the YouTube comments. Let us know if there are any new sign-up bonuses for cards or what your favorite hotel booking website is. Mine personally is booking.com. Trizzy's got Orbitz. So we'd love to hear from you. Don't forget, we are on YouTube and anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you loved this episode, please leave us a 5-star review, subscribe, follow us on any podcast platform and YouTube so you never miss an episode drop. And we'll see you at the next episode, y'all.